Hello, everybody. The Deephaven community team is back. It's March week 3, and we got another demo for you. Started. All right, first I'm going to show off some of the new Reconnect functionality that we've got coming to community. So I'm going to simulate a lost connection by using work offline mode in Firefox here. So if I go to work offline, I'll get a UI saying attempting to connect. Got to check your network connection. Now when the back, I'll just see where you left. Ticking tables and so great quality of improvement there. That was built on top of Colin's Reconnect UI. All right, and next up we have Matt. He's going to show some autocomplete. Take it away.
Yeah, so I've got some improvements that should make it into the next release of Community, sort of around autocomplete. So before we just had basic autocomplete where it would, if you started typing something, you just get suggested symbols to complete. Now there's extra detail around these items that you have selected. You can click the arrow here to get the doc strings for the items that you're looking to complete. I've also added parameter help for function calls. So this should give you the doc string for that and also show you which parameter you're typing in the top. So if you were to type something as you go to the second parameter, it highlights what parameter you're on. And I've also added a hover support for giving the doc strings and the function signature on hover. So that should be in the next release of Community.
Very cool. Another quality improvement for our editor there. All right, next up we have Devin. He's going to show us some Parquet features.
Great. Let me present my screen here. If you want to stop sharing, Matt. There we go. All right. So first I'm going to jump over to our docs page because this is where I got my sample data from. But we've got a guide about how to read and write partitioned Parquet data. So you can go through this and see it's basically two different files that we're writing out to disk. And then you can read those files back in. So this is something that we already support. But once you read this in, it's static. And I'm going to show you an improvement to that workflow. So first we'll just list out the files here so you can see what they look like. So we got two files in this temp grades directory, part 1 and part 2, and it's exactly from that the docs page that we just saw. And so what we can do is we can read those grades in a partition fashion. And there we go. Those are our two partitions right there. But the new part is this read functionality will shortly have the ability to dynamically detect when new files get added to this directory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend like I'm an external process. So this is not just Deephaven writing something and the Deephaven reading something. This can be an external system that is writing Parquet files. So what I'm doing right here is just pretending that some external process is going to copy this file to this file name. So just a simple copy. We go ahead and run that. And boom, there we go. You see a new partition has jumped in here. And so hopefully this feature will roll out shortly and make reading partition Parquet files very interesting. So.
All right, pretty slick. Now we can watch a whole directory for. All right, Colin is next to demo a binary for launching.
Thank you. So inspired by some discussion raised by Don as we were working through some of our authentication changes we'd like to make and how to make things safer in general, but still usable. I realized that we can improve things and by following a little bit of Jupyter's guide here, Jupyter's lead. So hypothetically, I've got a comment in front of this, so it's not going to do anything. But if you install Deephaven server, once you have this installed, rather than firing up Python and then doing the usual from Deephaven server import the server, and then start firing things up that way. Instead, now we can just say, hey, I'd like to run the Deephaven core server. We could change this name. This is flexible, but it auto completes because it's already on your path. And then when you run it, it will start the server. And when the server finishes starting up, it'll automatically launch the browser window and log you in. So this just be a simple quality of life improvement to say, hey, we can already start from plain binaries in Java. We can do it from Python. There's really not much of a difference from our perspective. But if this makes it easier to get it out there and get it in people's hands and using it, that seems to make sense. And all the regular command stuff works. There's nothing magical here to say how things should behave. And then when you're done, Control C terminates the process, and we're done.
All right, sounds good. All right, so that's all we got for this week. We'll see you next week with some more updates.